today I thought I'd talk about something that I don't usually talk about. In fact, well, I wouldn't say like I avoid it, but I'm probably one of the trans people who just doesn't really talk about this stuff unless really prompted. I believe that medically transitioning is completely optional, and in fact, it's something that I didn't do for a few years after figuring out stuff for myself. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I just kind of feel like I haven't needed to really talk to it, but kind of thinking about it recently, like I kind of want to document my experience with it. I have been on HRT, gosh, wow, over 2 years. Yeah, over 2 years. And yeah, so in my time span with that, I've experienced lots of different stuff, and I kind of want to talk to that. Also, the whole thing of like, I wouldn't have even gone down this path if it wasn't for my partner being super supportive and a random like stranger on Reddit who I met, and she was really awesome and advocated for me with my doctor and yeah, helped me with like all questions and that sort of thing. We had like a lunch together and talked about stuff before going to the doctor, and yeah, really sweet, really lovely lady that I met through Reddit. So yeah, continuing the theme of me meeting people online. So yeah, how I do. So I've made a couple notes for myself, which is why I'll look down sometimes, because I don't want to like miss something. Like I say, it's not really something that I talk about usually. So we'll see. When I like, I'm not gonna give everything like history for me, but I will say that when I got my test done initially to see where I was at with different levels of things, they found out that actually I have a intersex variation, that I excuse me, I have well, I had an abnormally high amount of testosterone, but my body didn't really know what to do with it. So yeah, so that's why I had so much tea. Normally you'd have really bad side effects of having lots of testosterone, but my body was just like super inefficient with being able to make it do what it needed to do. So yeah, so I had no idea about that until going to medically transition. So the more you know, because they don't really test the hormones and that sort of thing. So yeah, things that I noticed though after going on HRT, sweating. I am someone who does not drive. I am afraid of driving, and so and also cycling, because in my country you have to cycle on the street, on the road, and anything like that scares the shit out of me. Not just like other people's choices and stuff, but my own. I scare myself. So yeah, don't trust myself. But anyway, I walk a lot and I go upstairs a lot. You know, no matter where I worked, when I worked on the 23rd floor, I walked up the whole thing. And yeah, I would sweat a little bit, you know, just like under the arms and whatever kind of thing. But then, since taking HRT, estrogen, I sweat all over. So, notably like the lips, you know, like limbs, and chest area, that sort of thing. Sometimes I wake up at night and I've got like sweaty kind of like chest area and stuff around like the breasts, which is another thing. But yeah, so just yeah, women sweat like more efficiently, like all over, rather than in certain spots. That's just how it is. Yeah, so breasts I just touched on. So yeah, I kind of have them. You can't really see. They're like super small, and I kind of like it that way. I'm someone who I kind of want to look like what I'm attracted to, and I'm kind of not really like I don't mind breasts. They're just not a thing that I never really consider in a person and go like, oh wow, they got like really nice big breasts or something. I really don't care. That's not a good or bad thing. So in myself, I'm like, whatever I end up with, all good. Them being kind of small is kind of cool because they're not like troublesome. And yeah, I also am like a bit of a tomboy, so yeah, that's kind of cool. But they do grow, and you do feel them, and sometimes it's painful because you're like, oh, that's actually, kind of tender. So yeah, they're bigger than what you could tell from here. But yeah. Okay, so sticking with like skin and stuff, my skin is softer, so there's that. Much softer to the touch. Also, my skin is clearer. I don't have nearly as much acne. In fact, pretty much none. So yeah, that really helped. I mean, that's probably going to be different between different people, but apparently my acne was hormonal. So yeah, I didn't really have the biggest problem with it, but now I basically have none. So sweet, I guess. Body hair as well. So my body hair is less coarse. I never had crazy amounts of body hair. I never had really. I had a little bit tiny, like little spots of chest hair, but it's all gone. And it's not to say that you'll lose your body hair if you start HRT, but if you're doing stuff like I had handheld IPL, which is like the kind of like laser, and yeah, if you're doing stuff like that, then if you're taking stuff that's anti-androgen, like stopping your testosterone, that sort of thing, it's gonna help on some level. And for me, it meant that my legs, I never need to shave them really, unless I want to get rid of. There's just a few hairs on there that grow a bit, but because I was zapping them myself, the handheld IPL, and the anti-androgens. That's different for everyone. I really struggled with my body hair prior to HRT, so fully understand people who are still struggling with that. It's really bad, like for dysphoria and stuff. I don't like my hair, so my body hair at least. This hair, all good. I'm very lucky with my hair. Except for the fact that I have a cowlick right in the middle. So I have bangs even though I shouldn't be allowed to have bangs. I just fucking do it, okay? Let's see. So leg hair, yep. Oh, fat redistribution. So that's a thing. Like in your face. I definitely think my face is more feminine than it used to be. But it still looks really masculine to me. I mean, that's the thing, right? Dysphoria, that's gonna kick your fucking ass. And it does that to me a lot. So yeah. Okay, what else we got? Oh yeah, I'm still on topic of fat distribution. I've got like hips now. You can't really tell here as well, but I got like hips. They're hips. They're not real hips. It's actually like hip stuff. I don't think you get hips from HRT, but you get like pseudo hips because of fat redistribution around that area, and butt is looking really good. I do some exercise for my butt and thighs, but like really it's just the fat redistribution is sweet. Results may vary, of course, and you don't need to do this to be trans. Next one, talk about results may vary. Libido. for me, it absolutely killed my libido, straight up murdered. And that was a very good thing for me because I was a very horny boy. Um, I will say, especially in my femboy days, for those who know. But yeah, I will say it was really good for me because thinking about sex all the time, it is really awful. And I don't know whether that's just like most males kind of thing, like most people with testosterone have that or what, but it is so different on the other side of things, I will tell you. It's just so freeing not having this constant thing going on. So, yeah, it is, yeah, that's amazing. There's of course negatives to that as well, and you really want to like feel a certain way, but you kind of like, well, at least for me, I kind of like learned to, I should speak to my experience, I kind of learned to feel things in just a different way, I guess, and I get like tingles and stuff. I feel stuff, and I can get there, definitely. And I'm still very into that stuff too, even if I don't have to participate or feel the drive to, jerk off or whatever. So, yeah. Okay, more water. Now we get into the stuff I had to look up, like, what can you say on YouTube? Apparently you can say lots of stuff, so, and that's good. So we have, with libido and stuff, we also have, like, erectile dysfunction. I also noticed that my dick got real shiny. Like, what? Interesting. But anyway, so I had this, eventually, and it kind of sucks for me because, yeah, it was a part of who I was. I know I was really horny and stuff. I also had a very big dick, and that's just the thing. That's just a thing that was part of how some people knew me and that sort of thing. Also, like, you no longer, well, I no longer sort of really come. It's more like maybe there'll be some witness. Not a big loss if you're yourself, just like not making a mess. Great. But yeah, I was also known for that as well. So some people may think less of me or something. I think that'd be weird to do that, but I get it in a sense that purely sexual kind of drive, kind of sense, like dick's not gonna get hard. I'm not gonna come buckets anymore. And also I've lost a few inches, so I have inches to spare though, believe me. But it's the atrophy. So if you're not, or if you're like having, if you're sleeping, you normally get hard a lot during the night. You don't even realize it. It just happens. Blood flow, and you have an erection. Magic. But yeah, that just doesn't really happen as much or at all with HRT for me anyway. So you've basically got to, like, I've got to schedule in times to do the thing. And it can hurt. It can hurt if you haven't done it in a while. Like blood filling up the thing, it's gonna hurt, and it does, and you'll notice, it might not be as big as it was before, and it's something to come to terms with for sure. And you can get it back though if you continue to on a schedule. So yeah. Yeah, kind of a place to end it on. It's very hard to, sorry, pardon the pun, hard to kind of talk to all these things and just go like, oh, that's all it is. Everyone's different, and like I say, you don't have to do this stuff. Like, I think people who are like transmedical and stuff like that are fucking whack. It's don't let anyone pressure you into doing stuff or not doing stuff or whatever kind of thing. Like, you decide in the end. And I think it's helpful to have like good support around you and all that kind of stuff, because I did, and that's how I ended up doing what I did. I think it was good for me. There's like pluses and minuses, but overall massively positive. And yeah, despite my dysphoria, I do look better. It does absolutely nothing for your voice. You gotta do that for yourself. That is the hardest thing fucking ever, in my opinion, but that's just me, because I find it difficult. So, thanks for listening to my talk on HRT, and hope you have